Welcome to DevNU Bash 101. Today we're going to be learning the absolute rock bottom basics of using the Bash interface. So you may have seen a window that looked something like this on a computer in a movie or at work or something. This is a terminal. If you are older, you may have used this to interact with a computer 20, 30 years ago. And it's still the most powerful way to go about doing most things. So, if you're wondering how to get to this screen, I am on a Mac, and on a Mac it's very simple. You have your Launchpad, you can go there, and you can just type in terminal. If you're looking for where it's located, you'll find it in other. See? If you're not on a Mac, if you're on any sort of Linux-based machine, Ubuntu, Mint, anything like that, this will be exactly the same. You'll just search for terminal in your applications folder, and it should be very easy to find. So let's get started. The first command we're going to cover today is pwd. Now, what does pwd stand for, you might ask? It stands for print working directory. Now, it seems like it's pretty straightforward. I think you can guess what's going to happen when I press enter on this line. It's going to show us what our current directory is. There we go. So we're currently in a folder titled X. That's our home folder. That's OS X specific. You don't need to worry about that for Linux. But what you do need to know is that pwd shows you where you're currently located in your file system. So if you find yourself navigating through a lot of different folders, maybe you're connected to a remote server somewhere, pwd helps you orient yourself. It helps you see which direction you've been coming from and where you're going. So what's our next command? Well, today, our next command is going to be ls. Now, I don't actually know what this one stands for, but I like to think of it as look south. For me, that makes a lot of sense because what ls does is it prints out for you every file that's in the directory that you're currently in. So everything that's in the folder that it told us was our current directory when we did pwd, all that contents is going to appear when I press enter. So let's see what happens. So here we go. We've got a lot of content here, a lot of different stuff, and you can tell I'm not super organized in my file system. But we've got a ton of folders here and different files, and this all came up from our typing ls, okay? So you can think of that as look south. It shows you what's in the current folder that you're in, okay? So now, there's just one more command we're going to cover in this lesson, and that is cd. cd. cd is a command to move around within the file system. So you can use cd to move to another directory, another folder of your computer, okay? So if we want to go to our desktop folder, you see here, our desktop folder is within the folder we're currently in. We can just come down here. I'll start from scratch. We can type cd desktop. And you've got to be sure you get the capitalizations right or it won't be able to do it for you. So actually, let's try that first with a lowercase d just to see what happens. Apparently, I have a folder called desktop with a lowercase d. But that's totally irrelevant. We're just going to move back up with those two dots to our main folder. We're going to cd to our desktop, capital D this time. And now, we're going to look south. And now we can see folders that are on our desktop, and they match right up with the folders that I've got on my desktop, right here. These four, and there they are. So now you've learned 3 of the basic bash commands. You're able to navigate around with cd. You're able to look around at the files and folders in the current directory you're in with ls. And you're able to figure out which directory you're currently in by typing pwd. You can also see your current directory right here. This isn't the case on all terminal interfaces, so you got to be careful with this, but most will tell you the directory on the input line. So, while you're having fun experimenting with these new commands before the next lesson, I'm going to give you one more bonus command. Very simple. It just makes it easier to work with the terminal, and that's about all it does. So I'm going to type it in right now, clear. And I bet you can guess what that's going to do. It's just going to get rid of a lot of headache and make it a lot easier to read the output from commands you type in. There we go. Our terminal's cleared. We've learned PWD, CD, and LS. And I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.